Nathalie MacDermott. I'm a clinical research fellow in the Department of Medicine. I was working in Macedonia and Greece in the European Refugee Crisis with Samaritan's Purse International Relief in September 2015. In the picture with the boat, we were assisting a boat that had just arrived on Lesbos Island. It was a boat that was full of families of refugees with lots of small children. People were often soaking wet as well and cold, and many were actually verging on hypothermia. The two children I'm holding, one was about 6 months old and the other was a toddler, probably about 18 months old. What I'm standing on there is actually still probably to some degree water and rocks that are just covered in life jackets and deflated rubber boats that had just accumulated over time. The family in this picture were from Afghanistan. You can see the mother, she's holding one little boy who is about 2 years old, and then next to her is a 3-year-old child, and then there are two older children who were 7 and 5. The two older children were both registered blind. They had travelled all the way from Afghanistan. The two older children used to have glasses, and with very thick glasses they were able to see a little bit, but unfortunately during their travels, when they were trying to cross the border in Iran or into Iran, soldiers had fired at them and they had had to run, and they were in the process of running, they had lost their glasses and so they were no longer able to see. The children are wrapped in towels because at that time we didn't have any replacement clothes for them, and the family hadn't been able to travel with any extra equipment because the smugglers had not allowed them to bring much with them, and all of the belongings that they had been able to bring were soaking wet. This is a picture of a mother looking out of a train. There was a stampede trying to get on the train, and in the commotion the mother had been separated from her daughter. The daughter was about 10 years old and was very distressed. I was on the other side of the fence, actually next to her daughter at the time, and I didn't realise what had happened. All I could see was that her daughter was very upset and very distressed, and we were able to reunite them so they weren't separated. But unfortunately that's not the story for a lot of children, and there have been many children that through the commotion that's happened during their travels through Europe, they have been separated from their families in Europe. These children are extremely vulnerable, and European governments need to stand up and offer protection to these children until they can be reunited with their families. This is a picture of baby Rahaf and her mother. Baby Rahaf is 3 days old in this picture. She was born on one of the Greek islands. Her mother left Syria when she was 9 months pregnant, travelled to Turkey, and then boarded a boat from Turkey, a rubber dinghy, whilst 9 months pregnant. Rahaf could have been born at any time, and that is quite a risk to take, but they had hope for the future and they didn't want to raise their baby in a war zone, and I think we can all empathise with that, and instead they hopefully will now be able to raise their baby and their toddler in somewhere that they at least can consider safe and where they can give them a future.